I'm happier. I'm in a better mood. I have more confidence. I feel better all the way around. My knees don't hurt like they used to. My personal relationships are better. And so as of today, I'm 60 pounds down, 60 pounds down to as of today, and I feel great. Clothes are fitting better. It's just a lot. But I'm paying it back because I love this program. I think this is great. This has been good to me. I know it's been good to others that I know that are doing it. And it also helps me stay accountable as well. It helps me to have that measure of accountability and discipline, because how can I help somebody else and I'm not following the same suit? So accountability was a big thing. And then also, of course, the financial aspect of it too is just a bonus. I'm looking to quit my job, and soon enough, I figured this will work out well enough for me to do that. So enough about me. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Element number 26, ultra health, living longer, full out. So this element made me think about, a person works out and they just keep doing the same routine. They've plateaued per se, but they never step out of that comfort zone. Ultra health is about stepping out of your comfort zone, doing something more. You've reached optimal health. You've gotten to that goal weight. You're moving around more. You've introduced things back into your diet, but what's next? And ultra health is all about longevity. I mean, of course, we all want to do what we can to add some years to our lives. That's why we're making these changes, right? That's why we're here. So ultimate health is based on principles from cutting edge scientific research. So it's been tried, it's been tested. And some of the focuses about longevity, what has to do with our BMI, our body mass index, and what should be somewhere between 21 and 24.9. Our waist circumference, these are some goals that we should have. For males, it should be less than 32. Females less than 29. And then the optional piece, but why not add it, is the body fat portion of it. Males should be somewhere around less than 10%. And then females should be around less than 17 to 22%. But throughout this whole element here, it's about exploring things that you can do, that we can do, you and I can do to create ultra health and then potentially live longer. Of course, we can't control everything, but that's what's beautiful about this program. Longevity is something that we have in our control. We can't control the genetics. We can't do that. But what we can control is our lifestyle, our routine, our habits. So adopting a lifestyle that supports optimal health is by far the biggest factor in longevity. And studies have shown an extension of 7 years just by maintaining a normal weight, not smoking, and drinking alcohol at moderate levels. And so these are things that are good. I know before I was a big whiskey drinker, and just doing this journey and cutting back on whiskey, I can feel the difference. I feel the difference in my body. And that's just one difference I feel from one habit that I've learned. And so, of course, I want to push that further once I get to my goal. Ultra health by numbers on page 514. Again, some parameters that we want to look for. So one thing I appreciate is the information that we are providing. We're not just given a topic and we're trying to run around and figure it out. Okay, here's what we should aim for. So when it comes to our blood pressure, systolic blood pressure should be 110 to 95 or less. Diastolic blood pressure, 75 to 60 or less. Again, body mass index, we talked about that. We talked about the body fat. The good cholesterol, 50 to 70 I think it's milligrams, one of those. And then the fasting blood sugar and the HSCRP, which if you don't recall, I wrote it down somewhere, but it'll come back to me once I get to that page. Oh, high sensitivity C-reactive protein. So again, the Ultra Health Plan, this is something that we want to consider as we progress in our journey. It's about extending and thriving. I want to thrive. I want to thrive. I want to feel good. I want to, again, if I can control the quality of my life, I want to do that. You know, we think about years and years and years of bad things being promoted from the way we eat, our activity, and all of that. I stayed in the house most of the time as a kid. You know, we weren't allowed to go outside because mom thought it was dangerous, but that limited just physical activity. And then on top of that, we're eating the greasy burgers and the French fries and the fried chicken and the thing. So when vegetables were ever introduced, I didn't want that. I want the burgers. Where's the burgers? You know, but eating this way has really helped. It's really helped. So some other things that I appreciated as we go further into it, you know, some options that we can look into when we talk about intensifying. We want to enhance things like our activity. You know, once we get into that portion of our journey where we're transitioning, we're adding activity. There's your non-exercise activity. There's your exercise activity. But again, I mentioned earlier, you know, a person works out and they just do the same thing and they're never pushing themselves. So they're never getting better results. They're never creating, they're never challenging themselves. So now it becomes easy. It's like routine. My boss at work was talking to me about things I do at work, and it's like, it's just routine. You know I need a challenge, just like our body needs a challenge too. But the way that we do it is in such a way where it's not going to be overwhelming to our body. People work out 2 hours for 2 straight hours. I still can't, I don't understand it. I don't get it. I had a personal trainer and I was working out for an hour and a half and I was barely getting the results that I'm getting on this journey. But when we start enhancing what we do, we challenge ourselves, like HIIT workouts. HIIT workouts are fun. But to know I can do it in about 20 minutes and get some awesome results, and I'm not over utilizing my muscles, that's great. That's going to minimize the pain that I feel, or any injuries, the potential for injuries. So intensifying our workouts is something that was interesting to me. We look at ways to boost our current resistant workouts. And then we also explore high intensity interval training, which is an option you can use to enhance the intensity of 2 of your 30-minute walks per week. And these are things that are discussed in previous elements. So there's 6 options that we have when we want to boost or enhance or push ourselves. We can either increase the repetitions, increase resistance, increase sets or rotations, decrease recovery time, increase our speed. And then the other one was maintain muscular contraction. So intensifying should be a key word for us when we think about ultra health. Let's intensify what we're doing. Intensify sticking to the habits that we've learned. Intensify our activity. And the benefits of high intensity or HIIT training is a time efficient way to train our aerobic, which is our cardiovascular, which we need that, and our anaerobic, our muscle energy burning systems, because we're learning about bringing energy in, taking energy out. So we need to have a nice balance on that. And that's what this talks about as well. And then with the brain, there was a nice section on the brain in here. We could never just discount how important it is to take care of our brain. It mentioned in here, if our brain is no good, there's no point of doing a journey like this. There's no point of trying to even seek longevity. We have to take care of the brain. And there's things like, it talks about oils in here. And one thing I learned is there's some oils that will contribute to a bad brain, because the brain is already it's a fatty organ as it is. And certain things that we put into our body, like saturated and polyunsaturated oils, these things are they're no good to our bodies. They contribute to the triglycerides, I think. So we have to be careful with what we're putting into our body. But again, we go back to, okay, well, you're telling me to be careful and not to do this. What do I do? On page 521, gives us some examples of some oils that we can take. So extra virgin olive oil. And I know for extra virgin olive oil, I like the one that's in the glass, the little dark glass instead of the plastic bottle. It's just something about it being in a plastic bottle that doesn't sit well with me, but you know, if you like that, that's fine. I prefer the one in the glass bottle and keep it out of sunlight. Flaxseed oil, canola oil, and then fatty fish and fish oils, which include, now I was going to pronounce this word, but I'm not, I forgot how to pronounce it, but I will say the short EPA, and then there's also DHA. So look those things up. That's a little bit of research for you to do. To further decrease oxygen radicals. See, that's the thing. We're trying to get rid of radicals, all these radicals in our body. And what does that lead to? Plaque buildup, the elasticity in our blood vessels are not as good as they should be. And then we know what those things lead to. And so when we're careful about the oils that we're taking, that kind of contributes to a healthier body on the inside as well. It talks about herbs and spices that we could have. And it's all about the brain. So, and that's on 522. Foods for better flow. I like this one, chocolate. I love chocolate. I don't know if anybody likes chocolate, but when it said dark chocolate, I clapped my hands. And I like that 70% or more. I'm fine with that. I like the little bitterness. I don't need the sugary. I like it. So, and even the wine, you know, it talks about red wine, foods that are rich in flavonoids. So we can consider those things. Again, it's all about having a better brain, better flow to the brain. So we need that. Again, we have to take care of our brain. And there's supplements as well that are mentioned on 522. It's a long list there. I encourage you to look at that because it carries over into 523. But again, the whole purpose is to reach ultra health. But we can't reach ultra health. We can't even reach optimal health if we don't take care of our brain. So we have to make sure we're taking care of that, alleviate the stress. It talks about that. There's some things that it goes into about that. But we have to take care of the brain. Don't just focus on the body. See, the brain, nobody can see. Nobody can see the brain. A lot of times we may just focus on the outward appearance. Stop that. Take care of the inside. Make sure you're taking care, because if you're not taking care of the inside, the outside is not going to matter. So those are some points that stood out to me. I'm going to turn it over to you all and just ask you in regards to this element, what does this element mean to you right now? What does this element give you the opportunity to reflect on? Or what actions are you going to take as a result of this element? And let me get my participant list up. Please share. Please share. What is this element? Jamie, please.
First of all, Stanley, amazing job. Wonderful. You really touched on all the things that I loved. The brain, and I mean, you don't think about that when we're thinking of optimal health. We're working on our bodies. We're just trying to do that. But that point about what is the point of longevity if our brain fails us? I am actually watching my grandmother go through dementia. It is not a pretty sight. And it is something that I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to fix this and to get myself situated on that? And we have to keep ourselves active. We have to make sure that we are using brain exercises. You know, my husband makes fun of me because I love puzzles. I love doing all these little things. But you know what? That's brain exercise. It's making sure that I'm keeping myself active, not just sitting around and letting it go to mush. And that stress reduction, that's a huge thing. That's what I'm personally working on, is the stress reduction. I live a very busy life. I have a lot of things I'm juggling, and I am working hard to let it go, not allowing things to bother me, and to cut out negativity in my life. Because those are the things that I know are working and warping on not only my journey, but on my brain. So that's my personal, what I'm working on. But wonderful things that you brought out, and I am with you on that dark chocolate. Let's all go hit those dark chocolate shakes and make it up.
That's right. Nice. Thank you for sharing, Jamie. Let's go to Timon.
Yes, I really appreciate the knit part aspect of the book, because I have to do various things, and sometimes I don't get the chance to go out in the park like I used to, or go to a gym. So I have to alternate from high to low intensity by simply doing things around the house. That's actually an exercise. People don't believe that or not, but I have to work with that and alleviate the stress in the brain.
That's right. I'm doing some knee workout right now. I'm standing up and I'm tucking in my gut. So Carol, please, we love to hear from you.
Yeah, I would like to second to say that you did an amazing job. See, we're gonna let you do it every week. I love it. So this element reminds me of, well, first of all, we have learned so much over this entire 26 elements that has touched me in so many ways, and we've over the time frame we've learned how important it is, if we're going to have thriving full lives, to live as the best we can. And that's really what we want. We want a good life that's given us the opportunity to really thrive. And we don't want to, get to a certain age, but be so old and yet did not enjoy anything because we're so miserable and so unhealthy. And that's what we're trying to avoid. So we know we've learned to have routines in place. We've learned so much about what a lean and green is. We've learned about our sleep schedule. We've talked about why we should be fueling our bodies and not living to eat. We've changed our whole persona on that. And we've learned about eating, the time frame, how you should eat every 3 hours. So, and we know that it's not we're not going to be perfect. I mean, because we're not perfect, and we recognize that. But the goal is to be consistent in everything that we do, so that we're constantly working on being 1% better every day. And that's what we want, to be 1% better. And if I could just say what I've heard a zillion times over to everyone here, is just don't quit. When you quit, you definitely aren't going to get where you want to be. And what we want is to get to that optimal health range. And then just one other thing I want to add, for anybody that's not a coach, being a coach is where you're going to get that accountability part that's going to help you to see the need to stay on goal and to continually work on yourself, because you can't be a coach. Is a leader. A coach is a person that oh, what was that thing I just heard in one of our training, that we are a hope builder and that we are helping others to see what's possible. We can't do that if we're not doing it ourselves. So I implore everyone here, if you're not a coach, to consider that, because that's another way that you will not fall back into your old routines, because you will always be trying to encourage someone else.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you. And I like that 1% better every day. That's I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt. Ina.
Yes, I this week had a setback, but that did not stop me. I was not going to be able to do this no longer because of finance. But I prayed about it and prayed, and my prayers was answered. I got 2 more months, and I don't know what's going to lead to that, but I didn't lose nothing. I didn't gain this week. So that is good for me. And on top of that, I went to Applebee's today. Yes, Applebee's. So on that menu, whoa, I had Oriental salad. You know what that comes with, the noodles and all that. So I'm sorry that I ate half of that. But what I did afterwards, I went to Ross. I walked without my walker into Ross. I stand in the line without my walker for 20 minutes, then went to the register and stayed another 10 minutes because I had my children with me. So I am going to this journey slow, but stay on it. And Stan, he's a great coach. I'm serious. Stan and Sylvia, you couldn't ask for anybody better. And I know everybody else is good. I'm not, But anyway, I'm nervous, so I'm trying to be a good speaker. So I'm trying to think about being a coach a little bit, so that's my journey and I'm gonna keep on.
All
Thank
right,
you.
Anna, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And remember to use that dining out guide. Let's get a thought from Burton over there. I know Anna does sound like she's a coach, huh? Burton, you unmuted?
Yes, I believe I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I was thinking, Stan, you must have been thinking about my brain when you took on this part. To let you guys know, Stanley had to talk me down earlier. I opened up a packet of the mashed potatoes and got ready to prepare them. And I let him know I was gonna put sour cream, chives, and some bacon on my mashed potatoes. But he talked me down. He talked me down. And I say the reason why I say he was thinking about my brain because I had surgery on it at the end of March. And the reason why I took this journey too was to lose weight, but also try to keep those elements from feeding the small little tumor I had that was in my brain, and try to keep it away. So I had to change my my eating habits and those things like that, trying to change everything up. And so Stan helped me today. He talked me down, as I said, and I'm still on course. I got some panini in there waiting on me right now, so I'm gonna have to get to it. Thanks, Stan.
All right, without the bread, right? All right, enjoy that panini. Thank you, Felton. Let's hear from Sylvia, my coach, Sylvia.
Y'all know I feel a little like Proud Mama right now with Stan, right? Because he just went up there and just did his thing. Ooh, really? Is this not No Cry Tuesday? Somebody tell me to pull it together.
I think we might have lost you, Sylvia. I think we lost Sylvia on the connection. If you come back, we'll definitely love to hear back from you. Just before we turn it over, I mean, is there anything else? This is the last element of the book. So was there anything else? I think, did we hear you? Well, this is great. Go ahead, Sylvia. I see you unmuted.
Sorry, I apologize, y'all. I just lost connection real quick because I'm still in the car. We really do appreciate the way that you presented this element, Stan. And everybody has made a comment about all we appreciate your transparency. Yes, this is a place where you can be real, it's safe, because this is where you're just not saying what's going on. You'll be able to actually get the assistance. And I don't know if you were listening to what you said, but there's a lot of shifts going on. You're making some changes in your thinking and you realize that, oh, there's some things that I was doing that was not working. Congratulations, because that means you're growing. So keep going because you're going to continue to grow. I'm going to stop for now because there was a couple of things I wanted to say, but I'm looking at the time. So thank you very much, Dan. We appreciate the way you presented the element. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you to everyone that contributed, that shared something. Thank you for your supporting me, going over element 26, the last element at that. So it was special. With that being said, we'll turn it back over to James.
All right, you guys, can we please, everybody just put some love in the chat for Stanley. And for everyone that was bold enough to come on and anyone bold enough to share their story, share their journey. One thing I've learned is that when we do that, when you're open and bold enough to share, it helps you. It helps you on this journey and helps keep you accountable. So that's why we do this. That's why we have this support. That's why we have this community. And as Sylvia said, it is a very safe place because everybody here, nobody here is here to judge. Everyone here is here to grow, and we grow better together. And that's why we do this. So thank you all for your comments. Stanley, thank you for leading us tonight. And that was last minute, you guys. He jumped in and decided to do this just a few hours ago. So he did a great job. So thanks, Stan. So as Stan mentioned, this was our last element, but we're not done yet. We're not going to stop these calls. All we're going to do is we're just going to start back over at the beginning of the book. We're going to start back over at element 1. So if you are a new client or this is your first time here, it's great because now you get to go through this life book with us. And each week we cover an element, except for the last Tuesday. I'm sorry. Is it the last? Except for the last Tuesday of the month. Or it might be the first Tuesday. Sorry, guys. Just had a mental. Okay. Thanks, Carol. The first Tuesday of the month, we do celebration. So we don't do what we take a break from the life book. But so starting next week, we will be going back into element 1 in the life book. And then one thing I would like to encourage us to do, all of us, is as we're going through the life book, this is your journal. It's not really a book that you just pick up and read. If you guys, for those that's open, if you notice, it's a workbook. This is a place where you get to journal, you get to actually rewrite your new story, rewrite your new life. So as we're going through this life book together as a group, write your story in there. It's going to ask you some questions that's going to challenge you to start thinking and really observing where you're at, why you are where you are at, how did we get here, but then how do we rewrite and change our story? So as we go through this, really take advantage of this tool, but also want to encourage everyone to also take advantage of that Habits of Health book, because that Dr. A's Habits of Health book is amazing. In my opinion, other than the Bible, is probably the #1 personal development book I've ever read, because it covers everything you need to know about health. So as we're going through the life book, make sure you're referencing that Habits of Health book, because it's a system. They work hand in hand together, along with the Habits of Health app. So again, thank you, Stanley. Thank you everyone for being here this week. Next week, we will dive into element 1. So we'll see all of our clients next week. But we will be staying on for our coaching huddle, for our coaching team call. So our clients, you are more than welcome to stay and to join us. We actually encourage you to stay if you would like. But at this time, we will be transitioning into our coaching call and our coaching team huddle. So if you're leaving, we'll see you guys all next week. Thank you for being here. All right. And now for our coaches, I saw some coaches waving. Hopefully you guys were waving to our clients and you're not waving to me saying bye. Like, bye, peace. We out of here. Okay. Very, very cool. So, so good. Stanley, thanks again, man. Really, really do appreciate you guys. Didn't he do great? Didn't he do amazing, you guys? Natural right there. I know he has a lot of training, and we all, for those that probably know why, but he has a lot of training. It just shows. But so thank you, Stanley, for taking care of that, man. Appreciate you. So for our coaching call, you guys, I do have something I wanted to go into. So I won't be doing a lot of talking, because I have some slides that I prepared to really dig into I was talking to Tamara. She was with me as we drove out to San Diego this past weekend for the Fraser Super Saturday. I know we had a few coaches here that were there. Sylvia was there. Sylvia, if you guys didn't hear Sylvia did amazing. She actually was shared her story and brought the whole audience into wow and into tears, and she was incredible. So you guys be prepared. I hope you guys like hearing Sylvia speak, because I told her after that, I'm just going to step out of the way. Like there is no need for me to be anymore now. We got Sylvia and Stan. You guys, right? We got, they're amazing. And Carol's been telling me, so Carol, I'm listening now. I'm listening. So cool. Okay. So before we jump into this, as usual, we want to introduce and welcome any new coaches to the team, any new coaches to the family. Do we have any? I think we do. Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes, we do. So this weekend at our Super Saturday, we actually 2 new coaches got started at this past weekend at the Super Saturday. Robert, who's on Tamara's team. I don't think he's on, so we'll probably get him on next week. Yep, I don't see him. So we'll probably get him on. Hopefully we can get him on next week. But he went to that Super Saturday. He was inspired. He was pumped up, and he's ready to go. So he actually bought his coaching kit that day, right after the event, and his program to become a client. So he just started. So actually, let me stop because I don't want to tell you guys his story. So hopefully he'll be on next week and share. But we had another client that went to the Super Saturday this past weekend. Drove all the way from Monrovia, 2 hours to San Diego as a client, not a coach, as a client. And from there, she decided she was feeling, well, again, let me stop. I don't want to share her story neither. Let me just bring on Jessica, because Jessica is a brand new coach as of Sunday. Jessica, are you there?
I'm here.
Jessica, if you can just tell us a little bit about your who are you? Who are you? Tell us a little bit about your story. Where were you before you started the program? What made you decide to get started? And then since you started, what's changed and what made you decide to become a coach?
I think my Wi-Fi is not working or something.
It's a little choppy, but I think we can hear you. Yeah, go for it.
Hi everybody. I'm a new coach, just getting started. So I lost some weight my first month and I got inspired going to the Super Saturday. It was great meeting all kinds of awesome people. And I'm excited for this new journey.
Jessica, and on program, how much weight have you lost and what's changed for you since you've started?
14 pounds so far in a month, and I just feel a lot better putting on clothes, just feel energized, just feel better overall. And I'm hoping I can help some people feel better about themselves too.
Yeah, love it. And why coaching? What made you decide to take the plunge and become a coach?
Want to help other people just the way you helped me. Just spread the love.
Love it. So good. Thank you, Jessica. You guys, can we please welcome Jessica to the group, to the family. Welcome, Jessica. We are excited to have you. And you guys, Jessica's amazing. She's going to make a great addition to the team. And I just know her story. We actually went to high school together. We went to high school together. And I know she's going to inspire and impact a lot of people. So I think her only 4 weeks on program. And she decided to pay it forward and help others. So welcome. So good. I love it. Okay, cool. Let's see. And I think that's it, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want to miss anybody. I think we heard from Alma, right? We heard from Alma. Yeah, we heard from Alma last week, unless she wants to go again. No? Okay, cool. All right, you guys. So a few things we want to jump into is, since we are starting fresh from the element, I will be sending this out I'll put this in our Rise to Freedom coaching group. Also, we'll be sending it to the leaders and they're probably going to be sending out to all the coaches. But Shadon mentioned this last week. We need some help, guys. So for these for the element calls, for our community calls, we'd love it if we can get all of our coaches to really help us out with leading these calls. And why? What's in it for you? Well, a few things is, one, it's going to help you in your skill set. It's going to really help you start developing your leadership and really helping people. But it's also going to, as you invite your clients on, your clients want to see you. If you guys notice right now, most of the people that shared tonight were Stanley's clients, and it was probably because Stanley was up there. So if you want to integrate your clients and you want them to share and participate and take a part of the community, your clients need to see you up there. They need to see you leading, and they want to see you leading. So we're going to need some help with that. So what I will be sending out, I'll show you guys this real quick. Just to give you guys, show you guys what it looks like. Where is it? So this is the one we had this last time, and I haven't updated yet, but pretty much what we did here is we have all 26 elements. And as you guys can see, we have, I don't know why it's doing this. Okay, so we have the date of the element. So these are the old dates. So we'll be updating this. And then it has all the coaches' names. So this here will be blank. So we're going to be sending this out to you guys so that you can pick and choose your favorite element that you want to lead. So this will be a document that you can edit. So just jump on there as soon as I send that out. Find out which one. I'm giving you guys, for those that are on now, you get to think about it. Which one's your favorite element? And then once we send that out, go sign yourself up for 1, 2, 3, 4 of these elements. Would be great. And then another thing I want to point out, because I don't know if you guys seen this, I know Carol was really taking advantage of these, but you guys know Optavia also does these calls on Monday nights. And so these calls are recorded and they're all put on YouTube. So I have every single one of the elements here. So if you're going to be doing that element and you want to get some ideas on what Optavia is doing and the top Optavia coaches and the company are doing on to highlight that element, the YouTube video link is here. So that's all here for you guys. Every single one of those elements from 1 all the way to 26. So as your element is coming up, watch that YouTube video, and then it'll kind of give you some tips and ideas on what you can share and what you can talk about as we go through it. So again, I'll be posting this in the group. And if you guys can go through and just fill in a few of these spots on which element you want to do. And it'd be great if we can get this filled up as soon as possible. And if you don't get to it, don't be surprised if your coach throws your name in there a few times. All right, cool. All right, last thing I want to talk about before we get into our slides is convention. As you guys know, Optavia Convention has sold out. They have closed the registration, but there is a waiting list. So they did this last year to where convention did sell out, and they did open up the waiting list, because from now till convention, people will be either dropping out or people will be, refunding their ticket. So when I've actually heard this weekend from Jamil that it's already opening up and they're already reaching out to people on the waiting list. So if your goal is, which I'm hoping, I hope everybody here is going to convention, and I won't spend a lot of time on why, but just hopefully everyone here has made the decision and come in. They're going to national convention in July in Atlanta. Get on that waiting list. Get on the waiting list, because as it opens up, you'll be able to register. When you get on the waiting list, you don't have to pay until you actually register, but you will not be able to register if you're not on that waiting list. Okay, so get on the waiting list tonight. I'll post the link to that tonight, and then you can register when they'll contact you through email or text, however, to let you know you're up on that waiting list so that you can register. And again, everybody here needs to be at convention. It's one of those things to where you can't even describe what convention is. You just have to be there and bring people with you, especially if you're serious about this mission and helping people and building and growing your business. This is the event you don't miss if you're serious about this. Cool. All right, so I'll post the link to that so we can get on that waiting list. And then now let's jump into this. We got about 12 minutes. So I think there's 12 slides, so about a minute slide. So let me open this and share with you guys. One of the things I was talking to Tamara about was how do we bring on more clients? And I know we're all here because we want to help more people, right? I assume we're here because we want to help more people. And in order to bring on more clients, we have to do what? So we always want to reverse engineer. So we're going to reverse engineer bringing on clients. In order to bring on more clients, we have to do what? more health assessments. In order to do more health assessments, we have to do what? Start more conversations. We have to talk to more people. So then what I want to share with you guys is exactly that. How do we go out and start conversations to set up more health assessments to bring on more clients? Cool? Is that cool if I show you guys how to do that? Yeah? Okay. Some of you guys are nodding. Some of y'all are just staring at me. Okay, here we go. Let me lower that and okay, making authentic connections. How do we set up more health assessments? So we'll jump right into it. So in order to do that, guys, we are going to have to, first of all, we know this, we hear this all the time. We're going to have to expand your contact list, okay? And I was going to take time to actually build out a list, but we don't have, for the sake of time, we don't have time to do that. But hundreds list, we must, every single month, we want to make sure we have a new hundreds list of contacts and names of people that we want to connect with. You know what I'm gonna do real quick? I'm gonna come off of mute because who here has a contact list? Who here has a contact list? Okay, see Sylvia's hand up, Carol's, Ricky. Okay, you guys, the #1 tool, and I came off my screen because I really want you guys to hear my heart and see me on this one. The #1 tool a successful coach use to build and grow their business is a contact list. The #1 tool. I have never in the 5 years I've been doing this, I have never seen or heard a coach be successful without working off of a list, off of a contact list. And that list is not, it's in my head. I know who they are. That contact list is actually names written down on a piece of paper. So there's this statistic, and Jamil talks about this all the time. And even though we say this over and over and over, 60 to 70% of coaches, even though this is like the #1 thing we talk about, still don't work and do a contact list. Can we please not be that group or those coaches that fall into that statistic? Can we be different and be that 30% of coaches that actually want to be successful in this thing and want to help people and work off of a list? Yes, please. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ricky. Alma. Al's doing a nod. Barbara's looking at me like I'm crazy. But okay, Stan's got his hand up. Everybody's so small though, I can't really see everybody. Toya's nodding. Very cool. I can't see Carmina, Tamara, Shadon, Charles, Dejan, SMB, not sure who that is. Jessica, okay, cool. List. Okay, let's get back into this. I'm only doing this, guys, because I want us to be successful. There's no point of us being here on and every single week showing up if we don't want this, right? Okay. So when we're making our contact list, don't judge names. You're literally just putting names down on a piece of paper. One of the best places to build out your contact list for those that don't have one or you don't even know how to create one is the contacts in your phone is the #1 place when you're making and building out your list. Those, especially for new coaches, that's the best place to start, is to get all of those names off of your phone onto a piece of paper. Okay. Do not judge. We do not want to judge these names. We just want to write them down. Just write down everyone that you know when building and making out this contact list. Another place to write down your contact list is go to your Instagram and Facebook friends. Every single person that you're friends with can go on your contact list. So if you're someone that has a few hundred friends in your contact list, we have a place where we can go to build out our list. Okay, so we want to build that out and expand it. So once we have our contact list, what is the very first thing we want to get really, really good at and share is our story. I think at this point, everybody here should know their story and what your story is. So really quick, what that sounds like is, where were you before you started Optavia? How did you feel? What were you frustrated with? How was life for you before? Once you started the program, what's changed? How do you feel now? What did you experience? Did you lose any health? Did you lose any weight or get healthier on program? And then also part of your story is why you decided to pay it forward and become a coach. So this is where you want to get really, really good with sharing your story. We got to hear Stanley's story. We got to hear Jessica's story. A lot of our clients came off of mute and shared their story. So your story is what's going to inspire and motivate people. So we always lead with your story. Again, it's where you were before you started this program, where are you at now, and then what's worked so well for you that you decided to pay it forward and become a coach is pretty much what it sounds like. This is the effective way we found that works when sharing your story. Okay, so now that we have our story, who are we going to tell it to? So pretty much those people off of our list. Okay, so the basics of client acquisition. So now that we have our list and we have our story, how do we bring on more clients, and how do we do more health assessments? So we are literally going to pick up, either depending on how you want to do it, doesn't matter, as long as we're connecting and starting these conversations. You want to pick up the phone, or if this is on text or messenger, and you want to start a conversation and reach out to people. Okay. This is actually talking a little bit more about our story. Again, you want to know your story like the back of your hand. We talked about who we're going to share our story with. We just wrote their names down on the list, so we'll keep going. Okay, so what do we say? What do we say now that we know our story and we have our list of people to talk to? All we want to do is connect authentically, be truthful, and start real conversations. We are not one of those things where we start off spamming people and saying, I've lost 20, 30 pounds on program and I want to get people healthy. Do you need my program, or do you know anybody that wants to do that? No, that is not how we do this. Everything we do is authentic, true, and real. So when we start conversations, we just want to be authentic. So how do we start an authentic conversation? And I know this is basic and elementary, but this is literally, you guys, this is how it's done. This is how this business is built. Is how do we start a conversation? Is we just go and say hi. We go say, hello, how are you? What's going on? How's life? How are the kids doing? What's new with you? How's work? Hey, I saw on Facebook your kids are in gymnastics. How is it going? We want to be interested in them by asking questions. We're not getting on and to be interesting and telling them everything about us, but we want to be interested. The best way to be interested in people is to ask questions. So when we ask questions, we ask them, well, what's going on with you? How are you doing? And we're interested in them. Naturally, what are they going to ask you? Well, they're probably going to ask you, well, Sylvia, how are you? What's up with you? How are you doing? And when they do, what are you going to tell them? What are you going to tell them? We just talked about it. You're going to tell them your story. Oh my goodness, what's going on with me? Man, you would not believe. Jessica just told us 5 weeks ago, I started this program and I feel amazing. I have more energy. I'm sleeping better. I'm losing weight. I'm down 14 pounds in 5 weeks. And I decided I'm now a health coach. Can you believe I'm a health coach and I'm helping other people? But I'm doing great. I'm doing amazing. Life is great. So all we're going to do is tell them your story. Now, if they're looking for you and they're looking for help and they're looking for a solution in their health and their life, what are they probably going to ask you? They're probably going to ask you, well, how did you do it? What are you doing? So this is where we just want to get the word out and make a connection. This is why it doesn't matter who you put on this list, and it can be anybody. It does not matter, because all we're doing is we are connecting. We're starting an authentic conversation. We're asking them, how are they doing? What's up with you? What have you been up to? Oh my goodness, Jessica, we are almost 20 years out of high school. What have you been up to the last 20 years? what's been up? I haven't talked to you since high school. What have you been up to? She's probably going to tell me what she's been up to. And then she's going to ask me, well, James, what have you been up to? What am I going to tell her? Going to tell her my story. Now, if Jessica, which she was looking for a solution, she's looking to lose weight, she wants to get healthy, and she's probably going to ask me, how did I do it? And I'm just going to tell her exactly how. So that's what we're doing with the people on this list. We're just getting the word out. We are not going to them and saying, hey, you're overweight, you need my program. Hey, do you want to do my program? We are just getting the word out and we're letting them know. So what's the whole point of this, getting the word out with this list, is there's you, them, and their world. We want to connect you, them, and to people in their world. They may not need your program. And this is why we don't prejudge who we write on this list, because they may not need it. They may not want it. They may not even right now be in a position to where they need a change, or they're ready for a change. But I guarantee you guys, I promise you, somewhere in their world, they know somebody that is looking for you. They know somebody that needs to get healthy. They know somebody that needs to come off high blood pressure, cholesterol, or diabetes medication. So all we're doing is we're starting these authentic conversations to get the word out. Okay. So what is that? How does it look? What does it sound like? I just kind of told you guys, we want to be real and authentic, start an authentic conversation, tell them your story, be excited, be passionate, keep it brief. When you're sharing your story, we don't want to be long and drawn out and 5-10 minute story. And it sounds like we called them or we connected with them just to share them a 10-minute version of our story. This is where we want to remember, know your story like the back of your hand. And you want to have we call it a 30 to 60 second elevator story. Then you have your 90-second or a minute and a half story. And then when you're sitting down, maybe you're at a barbecue, you're with friends and family, you have your 5-6 minute story that you can share. So when we're getting the word out, we're picking up the phone, or if this is on Messenger, we're very brief and we're just giving them our short version of our story. Also, we can ask them let them know that your heart and you're passionate about helping others and you want to help any people. And then this is where we can ask them, is there anyone in your world that you know that can benefit? So let's say we tell them our story and they don't ask you, they don't say, well, how did you do it? Or what are you doing? So now we can go ahead and we can say, well, hey, I'm really, really passionate about this. And you may not need this, but you might, there's a lot of people in your world that might need this or need something like this, want to feel good like I'm feeling or want to come off medication. If you know of anybody, would you connect me with them? I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, let's move on. So there is a system when we do this. So if you guys want to take a screenshot of this or take a picture. So after we get the word out, we let them know, and if they say, well, if I know of anybody, I'll connect you with them. Cool. Was it cool if I send you an email, a follow-up email or thank you email with a little bit more information about my program and what I do? Then if we're not already, we want to friend them on Facebook. We want to add their email to your connections group using Optavia Share. Follow up with them in a few days to see if they have any questions or if any friends came to mind. And then we can also send them an email or a newsletter in our Optavia Connection weekly or bi-weekly, however we want to do it. But we just want to stay connected to these people. So how does it all work? So the purpose of making conversation is not to get the person as a client. Again, we just want to get more information to see if this is something that can benefit from them. So if they are interested and they want to know more, we want to move it to an explore call. So this is where we want to set up the health assessment. So if they're asking you, well, what do you do? How does it work? Well, I would love to set up a time to where we can get on the phone and do an assessment. Many of these connections will send you their friends, coworkers, their families, especially if they feel that you care. Move it to an explore call or set up a time with these people, connect with them to do a health assessment. Many of these connections will be ready, but not right now. And they'll want to see you living out loud on Facebook. This is why you want to connect with them on Facebook. You can also add them to one of our community pages. The one we're using is Limitless. So you can add them to Limitless, and now they're going to see the community. They're going to see people getting healthy. They're going to see people losing weight. So when they're ready, they're going to connect and reach out to you. So when they are, we're going to move it to a health assessment. Many of these connections will get your emails for months. And this happens to me all the time. There's people that I did assessments with 3-4 years ago, and they get a weekly email from me. And when they're ready, they're going to reach out to you or send you referrals. When they are ready, we want to move it to an Explore call or move it to a health assessment. So we want to set a goal. I think this is our last 2 screens, and then we're done, guys. So we set a goal, you guys. What is your number? So remember, we talked about building a list, right? So if we're making at least the hundreds list, what is your goal? What is your number? I want everybody right now, you don't have to tell us, but make sure when we get off, go let your coach know so that they can help keep you accountable. What is your number? How many people off your list do you want to connect with and go say hello to a day? How many people do you want to connect with a day? If it's 3, if it's 10, if it's 20 plus, we never set the limits and our standards. You can do whatever it is you want, but all it is that list. How many people do you want to go connect with consistently daily? So if we're doing at least 3 a day, that's 90 new connections a month. If we're doing 20 connections, that's 600 new connections a month. If we are doing 600 new connections and we're reaching out to people and just saying, hello, how are you? What's going on? And we're telling our story to 600 people a month, do you think we'll be able to set up 5, 10, 15 health assessments a month? Yeah, if we're consistent, we actually setting up that number. So the very last thing is we have the hub. You guys know it. We talk about it all the time. What's amazing about the hub is it literally shows you everything we just talked about. Create your how to make a list. If you don't know how to make a list, you need help with that. Get with your coach, but it also tells you here, there's a plan, how to start conversations, how do we add friends so that we never run out of people to connect with? How do we add friends? How do we utilize social media to post? Because what's going to happen is, so the reason why we post, guys, is because when we post and we live out loud, people are going to engage, right? And they're going to like, they're going to comment. When these people like and comment on your post, the whole point of us posting as coaches is to live out loud, to inspire and motivate. But these people that are engaging, what do you think we're supposed to be doing with these people? I would hope that their name is going on your list. Every single person that's engaging with you, their name is going on your list. So as we get to that person's name on their list, now we're going to reach out and connect with them and start an authentic conversation. If they're liking your post, especially your health related posts, it's probably because they want help or they know somebody that needs help. So the hub is our command center, and literally it shows you how to build this business. So for our brand new coaches, don't worry about the hub yet. After we get you done with your practice calls, we'll get you into the hub. But for those that's been here for a while, hopefully we are using this hub. Okay, so I'm gonna stop my screen. We are a couple minutes over. So I know we talked about this a couple weeks ago, guys, but I really wanted to, I was talking to Tamara on our commute out there. We carpool together and we're talking about getting into that hub together as a group. And I think it'd be really cool if we can, well, I think it'd be cool. And you guys can let me know, what are your thoughts? If Jamil kind of put this challenge out there a couple weeks ago, is every single day, once a day, we're going to spend 1 hour in the hub. Just 1 hour in the hub. And I know we talked about this and we posted about it, but I really want to get this going and kind of build an accountability group for those that want to commit and that want to do it. Because the hub is literally, guys, it's going to show you everything you need to know on how to build this business and how to set up more health assessments, how to bring on more clients, coaches, and how to build this thing. And all it takes is 1 hour a day. So what we're going to do is we're going to structure, I'm going to make a group. I'm still thinking if I'm going to do it in Rise to Freedom, or we'll make a separate accountability group. We'll see what kind of works, but make a group for those that actually raise their hand that want to do it. And all we're going to do is we're going to structure 1 hour a day in your calendar, just 1 hour. And we're going to put that hour on, block it off on your calendar. And we're just going to call it 1 hour power hour work in the hub. And we're all going to keep each other accountable to that 1 hour we're going to work the hub. And maybe we'll even do some things like set up power hours. I know Sylvia was doing weekly power hours. Maybe we'll do some power hours to kind of help keep each other accountable. We can work it together. We'll figure out a few cool things to do that, to kind of keep each other accountable. So for those that are on, you guys, what do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that would be helpful, as doing like an accountability group and kind of keeping each other accountable about working in that hub at least 1 hour? Yeah, cool. Okay, very, very cool. All right, so that's it, you guys. Thank you guys for being on. Real quick before we end, does anybody have any questions? My laptop's about to die. Anybody have any questions, comments, thoughts, suggestions on our community calls, how we're doing our elements, our power hours, anything? We're always open to suggestions. And Carol, go for it.
I just want to ask, had you thought any more about changing the day? Only because it looks like we're dwindling and most of them are Tuesday night.
Yeah, I actually have. We've thought about it. We talked about it. Haven't figured it out yet, though, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
it's kind of hard. I know, it's kind of hard.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, and then just